Hey everyone, welcome to the final AMA of our zkSummer campaign with Tahoe Wallet. Usually we have Nico in here representing from the Tahoe team, but I think this is like a special time. We usually had these more so like 12 hours from now, so he might not be able to make this timing, but we'll hope he can pop in a little bit later. Regardless, yeah, this is a really special guest, Dmail. I think this is like a really unique protocol. Like we talked with a ton of DeFi platforms in these like Ape In campaigns, like lending or dexes. So I'm really excited to talk about an email service, which is zkSync era native and has had over 2 million signups already. Like, yeah, why have we not thought about kind of revolutionizing the email service space? But Dmail has, and I can't wait to learn more. AI is also all the buzz, so we're excited to see how AI is assisting in the email space. So welcome to Dmail. And who do we have on stage with us today?
Thanks, Amanda. I just want to correct you there, if I may. It's actually 3 million signups. The traction is something that even we can't keep up with at the moment. It's really blown up. It's exponential. But yeah, 3 million on-chain accounts. So that's really something special, something that's obviously exciting us. My name is Daniel. I'm the COO of Dmail Network. I'm personally from the UK, but I'm actually living in a place called Busan in South Korea, which is a really beautiful coastal city with beaches, and yeah, it's gorgeous here. Our main office is based in Singapore, and we have a team of 27 full-time individuals who are spread globally. And I think more than 90 or 95% of us have extensive Web3 experience. So thanks. Good to be here.
Wow, I did not know that you were based in Korea. You know, I am too, eh? But I'm in Seoul.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I went to KBW. I'm in Busan, but I've lived in Korea for quite some time. Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Oh, wow. Okay, we have to like connect more. I know we were supposed to meet. You guys had like an event in Seoul for Korea Blockchain Week, but it was just, yeah, such a busy week. But hope the event was well attended and it was like a perfect night, right? Friday night, and you guys had it at a really great venue. Like
Yeah.
how was the event for you guys?
Yeah. Well, I know Seoul very well. I lived in Seoul for I think about 6 or 7 years. So I opted for Gwanghwamun, which is where the Gyeongbok Palace is, and essentially the Gyeongbok Palace is for those that don't know Korea well. Gyeongbok Palace is like the central tourist attraction in Seoul in Korea. And you have this King Sejong and Lee Sun-shin statues, the two most prominent, most famous Koreans in history. And yeah, I decided to set up an event a little bit short notice, but it was cozy. It was decently attended. And yeah, we got together and enjoyed a beer in a German style beer hall. It's called Oktoberfest. So yeah, that was fun.
That is so fun. And what did you think about like Korea Blockchain Week? Because I find Korea's in its own bubble sometimes. Do you think it's breaking out of that, or is it still very much like a kind of closed off market in terms of the Web3 space?
I'll be honest and say that there's a long way to go. I was in East Paris, and it was pretty incomparable to the kind of the events that went on there. But that being said, I did go towards the tail end of the week, and I think a lot of people were heading over to Token 2049 by then. So it might have been a bit busier towards the start of the week. I had a lot on at the start of the week myself, so that kind of meant that I couldn't really head up from Busan, even though it's on my doorstep. Needs must. But I think. Speaking of like Busan, for example, Busan is a really crypto friendly hub. I know that there's a lot of, they're thinking about ways to, adopt blockchain in a more mainstream fashion. There's a place called Centum City, where I think it's Centum City, or am I confusing it? Yeah, maybe Centum City, where there's a huge mall, like a coex mall, and there's all sorts of functions that go on there. And actually, I've attended a couple of crypto events there, which were really bustling and probably, to be honest, more active than the KBW of what I saw of it. So I think Busan is up and coming. Watch this space.
Wow, nice. Do your work at the beach. I mean, Busan would be a perfect venue for some really fun conferences. I hope it heats up there then, because yeah, Busan's my favorite place in the whole world. But yeah, I feel like we're the Korea Tourism Board here really boosting Korea. But let's move on to Dmail. I think we haven't had the introduction of sort of overview of what the project is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've introduced myself and the team. So yeah, you're right. Let's go ahead and introduce Dmail. So I think it's beyond dispute that Dmail network is the preeminent Web3 communications platform at this stage. Our traction tells a story there. 3 million on-chain accounts, more than 30 million transactions. So it proves that there's not only adoption, but there's usage as well, and people are utilizing the DApp as well. And so I think the reason for that is that we're building an AI-powered decentralized communication infra. We offer encrypted emails, consolidated notifications, and precise marketing services across multiple chains and apps. We actually have now integrated 14 chains, allowing for cross-chain messaging functionality. And we cater to users, developers, and marketers alike. So, it's B-end and C-end, and we think there's synergistic effects there. Dmail has already raised funding from notable investors, VCs like Hashkey Capital, Draper Dragon, Qcoin Labs, Amino Capital, HG Ventures, and 20 other top global VCs. We actually quite recently, finished our pre-A round very successfully, which is quite notable within the market conditions as they are, and we are tentatively entering into our Series A round. So we are also delighted to have won the first prize in the 2021 Wangjing Hackathon. We recently, actually, I think it was literally a week ago, we won the BNB Chain's Innovation Excellence category, which is something I was very proud of. We were shortlisted to the last 20 projects out of a lot of different projects. Obviously, BNB did their DD, and we were shortlisted, and we got the most community votes by a considerable margin. I think it was, I can't remember exactly how many votes. I know it was more than 50,000. So, we've got a great community. We love our Dmailers, and we are also honored to have been awarded the first BNB Chain grant as well. So yeah, we have some great partnerships. We're proud to have integrated and provided services for ENS, Space ID, Lens, Starknet, zkSync, BNB Chain, more than 120 other projects. And as I mentioned, we really have experienced exponential recent traction with more than 3 million users who've sent a combined total of more than 30 million messages at this stage. So yeah, we're very excited, and we chose zkSync essentially for the excellent security and scalability, and this has enabled us to provide efficient services to users. I think on zkSync we've had, last time I checked, it was more than 3 million message transactions have been sent on zkSync, so it's one of our top chains for message transactions. We absolutely love the zkSync community, and I think that zkSync speaks for itself. It gains fantastic popularity and traction, and I think that Dmail is aiming to follow that kind of success.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been waiting for a long time. I think We expected a lot from zkSync, and yeah, so far it definitely has delivered. So yeah, so happy to hear like the activity has been so large so far. Because it's still fairly young, right? So to hear that there's already been 3 million messages on this chain alone, like it's only been now what, like 4 months, pretty much, right? So
Exactly. Yeah, and
yeah, it's
I
amazing.
think, yeah, exactly. And you know, we've had really good traction from, you know, zkSync. Starknet's another one that we've got, you know, a lot, millions of transactions on. And so yeah, we you know, I was in a AMA with Starknet yesterday, and yeah, it's just incredibly exciting. And you know, we're making friends all across, you know, the blockchain world. You know, so everything is going very well. And you know, Dmail has actually been around since 2021. You know, and you mentioned recent traction, but Dmail has been around since 2021, and everything was put in place. And we were kind of in a stealth mode, right? And then suddenly it's just absolutely exploded. I would say since, where are we now? September, mid-September. So I think it's been around, honestly, as recently as June, July. June probably is when we really started to gain, you know, traction, and it's just absolutely exploded since then with, you know, integration after integration of different chains. And you know, I think a lot of people in the mainstream crypto world now know who the email network are, and we're only going to get stronger.
Nice. Well, glad to have you guys on here then before you guys got too big. So I wanted to ask in terms of like a difference between, I guess that's what it would be on everyone's mind, right? Like, what's the difference of Dmail between, sorry, as opposed to other traditional email services that we're all familiar with? So, what sort of Web3 features are you incorporating into your email service, which differentiates itself from like a Web2?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So Dmail has introduced several cutting-edge Web3 features. First of all, of course, we're decentralized. We employ a full stack decentralized architecture. This means messages are not only not stored on a single centralized server. And of course, this reduces the risk of single point failures, and it enhances security. Um, Obviously, being on blockchain has benefits as well. Blockchain-based verification, for example, by utilizing blockchain technology, Dmail is ensuring that the sender's identity is verified. And of course, this significantly reduces the likelihood of phishing attacks and impersonation. So blockchain adds a certain level of security. Um, an area which I'm really excited about is data ownership, right? Because you know, you mentioned what's the difference between, you know, Gmail and Dmail. I want to make it very clear as well. We're not actually in competition with Gmail. You know, I think, to be honest with you, at this stage that would be a fool's errand. Gmail is one of the most successful and widely adopted technologies in the world. I use it. It has certain functionality that Dmail will never attempt to replicate, like probably you know, the Google Meet, for example. But there's certain things that we can do on a blockchain that they can't, and data ownership is one of those things. And the tokenization of data ownership is something that I think is really going to drive adoption even further. So, you know, you own your own data. You can decide whether or not to read targeted marketing messages, which are actually coming very soon. And then you can gain tokens for that, and essentially, you know, monetize your own data, your own inbox. So, you know, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want a more secure inbox that's encrypted? You know, fully decentralized storage that they own, but also, yeah, as I say, data ownership. So that's really exciting. And then, you know, we do have enhanced privacy. So, you know, messages and attachments are encrypted. This makes it extremely challenging for unauthorized parties to gain access. Yeah, and let's not forget interoperability amongst the 14 chains that I've mentioned. We've seamlessly integrated with other Web3 services and platforms. We've integrated, countless wallets, countless chains. Gmail doesn't do that, but we actually do have APIs that auto forward messages to Gmail, to Telegram, to Discord, because we realize that a lot of people are still going to want to use their Gmail accounts, and that's completely fine, and I do as well. But at the same time, if you do want to send and receive assets, because obviously your inbox doubles as a wallet, as an NFT, as a wallet, and you'll be able to send and receive assets as well. As I mentioned, tokenization in the future. So there's a lot of things, the functionality that you can have on Dmail that simply is impossible to have on Gmail, and interacting with other chains is one of those as well. So yeah, I'll quickly mention as well an overview of our product suite. So we have we're building out an AI assistant. We already received a grant from Microsoft for startups, and we actually integrated ChatGPT 4. So that's very useful to have that in your inbox, where you can utilize the AI assistant to essentially craft multi-language emails essentially from prompts, and so that's really something that is very helps with productivity. But we're not going to rest there. There will be increased functionality in terms of AI, and we're going to continue to build that out. And we, of course, are providing the decentralized message platform and Dmail itself. But we actually have a messaging service. It's basically via a subscription hub, and this is set to launch very soon. It could be as soon as the end of the month, maybe a little longer. It depends on us acquiring a certain amount of BN users. So we're on track for that. I would say, where are we? End of the month, 2 weeks. That could be a little optimistic, but maybe within a month, I think we will have the necessary amount of users that we're going to launch, do a soft launch with that. And the messaging service essentially will allow, it extends the functionality of traditional email. It's going to allow targeted marketing to wallet addresses, DIDs, cross-chain messaging, and we'll also have DID as a service. So yeah, it's something that we are very excited about, and I think we will also have notification services in the future, which will be for C-end users. So the messaging services for marketers, B-end, right? But the notifications is going to enhance the C-end user experience, and basically within what the C-end user will be able to do is essentially subscribe to different dApps or whatever else, and chains, wallets, whatever, and essentially they'll be able to stay connected to the projects that they're interested in and fully control their digital experience, and receive emails, which then, as I mentioned, they can auto forward. So they will land in the Dmail network dApp, and then they can auto forward it to Web2 dApp apps, or Gmail, or whatever they want. But ultimately, this gives the individual synergy with Web2 and Web3. We think that there needs to be a soft landing. There needs to be this incremental value add. It's not going to happen all at once. And in terms of email, Dmail needs to be able to have some synergy with Gmail rather than compete with it, if that makes sense.
No, I love that approach. Yeah, I think that was a great answer. And thank you for the comprehensive overview as well. I think I just asked you kind of two questions in one. So sorry if that was a big ask. But I
Yeah, no
wanted
worries.
to, yeah, I wanted to hone in a little bit as someone who is a marketing person myself. I'm just curious how okay, when you mentioned that through Gmail, we'll be able to access more targeted marketing. How can I say not access, but we can now add these endeavors that are targeted marketing, which we weren't able to do before because it was just so hard to reach crypto users in the past. And Quest platforms have done a good job at connecting projects to real users. But yeah, targeted marketing through cold emails is something that I think a lot of people think is every marketer's dream. But I'm just personally curious how your team or yourself, Daniel, how you think that users will react to receiving crypto marketing, just because the ethos of the space is a lot
Yeah,
having pride in your
absolutely.
anonymity.
Absolutely. I totally understand what you're saying, but let's not forget what I mentioned, that these targeted emails will land in a subsection of the inbox. Now, it is the user's choice. It's almost like a separate folder, like a spam folder, right? And then the emails will be there. Now, it is the user's choice entirely if they want to interact with these emails, right? And if they do open the email and interact, they're rewarded with token incentives. If they don't want to interact with it, that's entirely their choice. And they just basically just ignore any message that comes through in this subsection, this other folder. But I do think as well that the messages that come through to them will be from essentially projects that they are interested in, because the marketing will be connected with dApps that they're using, and so it'll be of interest to them as well. So I think it's of course we totally value privacy, and we don't want to encroach on on users. I think that's the empowerment, right, of the individual. They get the choice. It's like, they don't have to receive these messages, but they don't have to interact or read the messages. But if they do, that's the tokenization of their data. That's what data ownership is all about. So they get to choose. They have the power. They have the choice. Rather than in Web2, you're bombarded with marketing messages, irrespective, essentially, and you certainly don't get any reward for it. You are the product, right? So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting then. That reminds me a little bit of how Brave browser works as well. You can opt in to get the push notifications, and they're going to be 9 times out of 10 from a Web3 platform. And if you click or interact with the notification, yeah, you get the reward. I think, yeah, very similar, and that seems to work very well. So I think that's interesting. Yeah,
That's
I don't
right.
know
Yeah.
why I always wonder if people would have, I don't know, to give a little bit of a side eye if they receive a message from a project. But yeah, I guess if you're opting into it, it's just up to you, and it maybe feels less invasive that way. So I think, yeah, that's a great infra that you set up there. And again,
And don't forget,
marketer's dream.
as well, this isn't invasive in the sense that it goes directly into the user's inbox. They have their own specific inbox. This is partitioned or segmented away from the main inbox, and this is an optional area where people can go in and, okay, I'm going to interact. I'm going to see what people are offering, and I'm going to find out. Think of it as a promotions area, I guess, on Gmail, right? Because Gmail does have a promotion section, which I don't often interact with. Sometimes I do have a quick look. But if Dmail has a sort of promotion section, for want of a better word, which has targeted marketing messages, well, if I interact with it and I get tokens for it, then I think there'll be a lot of people that are interested in that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I just wanted to, if you could maybe just like explain a tiny bit more, in a tiny bit more simplified way, like the AI assisted feature. Like if I'm writing an email on your service, how would that be helping me?
Essentially, productivity. Why does anybody use ChatGPT? It's there's a range of reasons. For email, you just essentially write a prompt. You can write a prompt like, write me a resignation letter from my boss. Make it formal, polite, and blah blah blah, and then essentially and write it in Spanish. And then you basically pop it in, and it'll create the email for you. So that's within your own workstation. And as I said, in the future, you'll be able to actually send and receive crypto assets, and you'll be able to get the AI system to do that for you. So it'll connect with Web3 functionality as well, blockchain functionality. So yeah, I mean, the current functionality we had is basically exactly what I just mentioned, where you can essentially prompt the GTP4 engine to write you an email, and it can be it's a choice. Some people might want they might want to personalize it entirely themselves, but I think there'll be a lot of use cases for that, where people, because if you're working in an office and you send in dozens of emails every day, I think I do send quite a lot of emails every day. It could certainly be a productivity boost.
Okay, nice. Thanks for clarifying that point. Awesome. Okay, so moving on to our next question, which is about email security. So how is Dmail ensuring a secure user experience? Because email security is of paramount importance, and it really impacts the user's trust and confidentiality. So yeah, we want to hear about the key measures that Dmail has put in place.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's something that we really do pride ourselves on. So Dmail employs robust end-to-end encryption protocols. This means that not only the sender and the recipient have the key. Sorry, this means that only the sender and the recipient have the keys to decrypt and read the content of the email. So even Dmail as a service provider can't access the contents. Again, going back to sort of data ownership. Obviously, decentralized storage is another big factor. So instead of relying on centralized servers, Dmail leverages completely decentralized storage solutions. And this reduces the risk of large-scale data breaches that are common in centralized email platforms. And just being on the blockchain as well allows enhanced security, because obviously blockchain acts as a tamper-proof ledger. So this is another layer of protection altogether again.
Amazing. Yeah, when I think about email security too, I'm just like, there's been so many like global scandals, right, from email leaks. So that's kind of, yeah, interesting that people can have a better encryption. I think that's so important. Oh my goodness. Like I think we were so excited when BlackBerry was, I guess, the mobile device of choice, because everything, you felt very safe using that device. But yeah, I guess for whatever reason we've like moved away from that. And yeah, it's nice to see projects like yours to come out and like bring that back to the forefront, because it is just so important. This is a random, yeah. So I have a random question that I'm not sure if you have the answer to, but it just popped into my mind. You know how like when you are in your, traditional Web 2 inbox and you have all these, like, as you mentioned before, like spam emails from different companies, and you're on like a subscribe list, but you're like, I've never subscribed to this company. Like, how did I get on here? And you go in and unsubscribe, and it's usually not that difficult to do that, but it does make you wonder, how did I get on this list? When you have like an on-chain email service, does that like lessen the possibility to get on those subscribe lists because you would have to subscribe with an on-chain action? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will filter out, unsolicited marketing for sure. Because as you say, it will be on chain. Yeah, not something I've really thought a lot about at this early stage, but and I think it's probably something more for the tech team, that what they've considered in terms of whether or not people will get unsolicited emails as much as before. But yeah, I would tend to think you're correct that it's people will receive less for sure.
Interesting. Okay. And another question when I'm thinking about email, and since your team are email experts, like these are things that we haven't thought about really, right? We take it so for granted. This is an email service. Who really thinks about like how to improve it? But one of the things I've kind of noticed since making the jump to Web3 is sort of like the lack sometimes of email signatures, but very powerful in the Web 2 space. If you don't have an email signature, it's almost considered unprofessional, right? In traditional companies. So what do the Dmail and yourself, like, what do you think about that? Are email signatures a thing of the past, or are they still something essential?
No, they're not something of the past. I totally agree with you. I think they're relevant. I use an email signature. It does make you think, though, doesn't it? Because I actually pay for, a subscription of a email signature. I won't say the brand, but it's I'm satisfied with it. It's not expensive. It's fine. But I think that's this is probably an area where Gmail can offer a value add. Um, it shouldn't be too difficult to improve on current email stamps signatures. So I think there's probably an area where we can explore the technology, maybe in form of like an NFT or something. I'm not sure exactly. That maybe it can be an improved or technologically improved version of of an identity stamp, so to speak. And yeah, we'll definitely look into ways to improve on this. And I think we'd probably look to at the very least just make it a premium feature rather than a fully paid up feature. So a premium feature where you can utilize points or tokens, and probably minimize it, or if not, make it completely free. Haven't really thought it through, but it's a very good question, Amanda, and I think it's an area that we can definitely make a value add for sure.
Oh my goodness. I am so excited to see how the Dmail team is going to revolutionize email signatures, because I'm with you. I think we need them. And when I don't see them, there's something that just feels like casual when I receive, a reply that has no email signature. So yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I love the idea of having an NFT built in there and just like other functionality, like again, things that people would probably never think about. So this is really cool. So I have to ask, like we started this conversation with a bit of a correction where I had thought you had 2 million signups, but then Daniel, you surprised me that it's now jumped to 3 million signups, which is incredible. So yeah, how did we get this traction so fast?
Yeah, and I didn't mean to be rude when I said that, but it's it's obviously a million users, and it's through no fault of your own. It's probably when we set up the AMA and we were discussing initially, I think it was probably actually at around 2 million. But let's put it this way, right? We had an end of year target of 1 million on-chain accounts. By July 28th, we'd hit that. We'd hit more than a million. I think within another month, we'd hit another million on top. And on top of that, we've hit the 3 million mark. So do you remember I said about the absolutely exponential, like exponential is a word that's probably overused in terms of marketing, right? But there's truth to what we're saying. It's like, there was 2021 to 2023, the building phase and building out functionality and so on and so forth. And essentially what happened was this explosion over the last few months in user growth. So yeah, 3 million on-chain accounts. And, some people might ask, oh, how do you know it's not bots or farming or something like that? Well, we do have, extensive security measures in place. And we have ways to see who active users are, and ways to measure when somebody is sending and receiving an email, and we have quite rigid criteria for measuring MAUs as well. And I think that the fact that we've had so much on-chain messaging proves there's a massive human component. 30 million messages sent. It's really quite impressive. So what I would say is that I think what's really driving this is we have a very innovative approach. I mentioned that people are I think people are really excited about tokenization. So we have actually, for example, a referral point system, which has been part of our user acquisition model. I think we'll easily hit more than 5 million users by the end of the year. Of that number, how many are active? I think at the moment it's 1.2, 1.3 million monthly active users. So I think we can easily double that by the end of the year, easily, given the current growth trajectory. It's hard to be conservative given how fast things are happening, but I think that this referral system, the point scheme, the tokenization, it's really sort of built a sense of community. As I mentioned, we won the community, the BNB innovation category, innovation excellence category. That was through 50,000 plus votes. So again, we got this massive burgeoning community of Dmailers. And I think that people appreciate not only the tokenization, but just the solutions we're offering. I think anyone who feels that their data is not only their own, but it's encrypted, it's protected, their storage is their own, is decentralized. It's a really strong value proposition, I think. And I think people like it. And the user interface and the experience of Dmail are pretty seamless. Of course, you can use it's cross-chain, right? So if you've got, I think where the speed has really come in our growth as well is that until relatively recently, you mentioned zkSync. I mean, what is it? 4 months, right? So we've integrated probably within 4 months, and we've got several million, 3 to 4 million message transactions, and so I think that when you've integrated 14 chains like we have already, and you're generating, and don't forget, you can send and receive Web 2 emails, and you can send and receive Web 3 emails to DIDs, to wallets, all cross chain. So I mean, this is something that I don't think any other messaging protocol remotely even resembles. And when our targeted marketing functionality comes online, we'll have something that's that we'll have that combined functionality. We'll have the notification service. We're building out the AI system. I mean, this is an all-in-one Web 2 and Web 3 combined messaging platform. The scale of and the ambition of this is a lot bigger than I think anything else that exists out there at the moment. And I think that the user base shows. People appreciate that level of ambition. There are messaging protocols out there that are good at what they do, but I think it's limited in scope. So I think it's exciting, and I think we're pretty effective with our marketing. I think it was on again the exponential traction, right? So on Twitter, you can actually scroll through our Twitter feed to see exactly what I'm saying is 100% on point. I would say it was considerably okay at an estimate maybe a month ago, but I'm thinking it was maybe even sooner than a month ago, more recent than a month ago. We celebrated 100,000 on Twitter. And then I checked today, and we got 144,000. Right. So again, this just shows the organic growth that we're experiencing, the blow up in traction recently. So, and I think that word of mouth and referrals, people. We have a very robust moderator program. Moderators work very hard. They all love Dmail, and they evangelize about Dmail, and we also have an ambassador programs. We have 15 ambassadors who are representing different languages around the world, major world languages, and then they disseminate our articles and our information in different languages. We've left no stone unturned, I think, in terms of what we're doing with the marketing. It's a very strong effort. And yeah, we listen to our community. We when the community says, give some advice about product iteration, we take it on board. We if you go into our Discord, which is like 60,000 strong, you'll see a lot of tickets in there. You'll see that they're always answered. We love our community, and I think that the best way to iterate on any product is to see what is lacking. Take the advice from the users out there who are using the product, and the product should evolve according to the community wishes. And so, yeah, I think that probably answers the question.
Yeah, it's such a good answer, and it makes so much sense because email is an essential service, and yeah, Dmail is revolutionizing it. And why not earn token rewards, as you mentioned, and yeah, get rewarded even for the responding or engaging with marketing emails that you receive. That only makes sense when you explain it. So yeah, totally see why it's taken off so quickly. And yeah, glad that we were able to find out more. I'm excited to try it out. I want to see I haven't used ChatGPT for email before, so I'm curious to see what it would spit out. But
yeah,
maybe just to sort of end us off, even though you've told us you guys already have so many features, I'm just curious what could possibly be next in terms of a roadmap.
Okay, so in terms of our roadmap, so Q4 2023 to Q1 2024, we'll have the cross-chain messaging service that I mentioned, which we're really excited about. It's BN is going to be our main revenue stream. We actually, we did very well with domain sales from CN, and we're going to release premium features and so on in the future, but really our focus is on BN, and so the cross-chain messaging service is something we're really excited about, alongside the subscription notification hub. So you'll actually be able to subscribe to your favorite dApps or whatever, and get the data stream from them from CN. So that's going to significantly improve the CN experience as well. Remember I was talking about the synergistic effects of BN and CN on this, and I really think this is something that's true for Dmail. Something as well that I'm really excited about between Q4 and Q1 is we will be able to log in with Web2. So through your Gmail account, you'll be able to log in. So we're further integrating with Web2. We're building a layer on top, a layer of functionality on top of Web2. Web2 does a lot of things very well. But you'll be able to and we also think as well, to onboard millions and millions of more users who are perhaps non-crypto natives. I think that's going to be really essential, and so that's going to be very exciting to see what that does for our user base, how much it grows. That we anticipate it's going to be very good. We'll have some L2 chain integrations as well, and we launched the Eddy as a service. Then between Q2 2024 and Q3 2024, we'll have app and plugin. We'll have a marketing hub, an enterprise and multi-chain mailbox, and we'll build out the workspace, which will include the drive, meetings, calendars, docs, and so on. So that will be by Q3 2024. So a lot of things that I'm personally using Gmail for right now might well be superseded by then, or it might well at least be you'll have the Web3 functionality, but the Web2 functionality is growing within Dmail by the end of Q3 2024. And anybody who knows Dmail, by the way, knows that we've always met our roadmap objectives. So by Q4 2024 and Q1 2025, this is when we'll be mainnet, we'll have mail to earn, we'll have an NFT marketplace, and we'll have a cross-chain bridge for assets. And then Q2 2025 to Q3 2025, we'll have an asset dashboard, IMO, which is initial mail offerings, multiple decentralized storage, and anonymous messaging protocols. So there's a lot of different things that are coming. As you can see, it's a really sort of packed space. This is all going on while we have integrations with multiple chains. We'll continue to integrate chains and wallets and just give more and more access. So yeah, I think the future's bright. It's exciting, and for anyone listening today, if you haven't already, sign up and get your first Web3 mailbox. Thank you.
Yeah, I surely will be signing up. This sounds so fun. I love the way that you guys have set everything up. I think, just something I would have never thought about, and now it seems so obvious to, of course, disrupt an essential service like email. I can't wait to use it and support a Web3 based email service. I think that's like what this community is all about. And I guess we can end it there. What a fantastic deep dive, by the way. Like, I just wouldn't even have imagined like how many features there were that you were offering. So it makes total sense why you've received so much traction and so much attention in the recent months. And we're just so happy to have had you as our final guest as well. Like, what a great way to sort of end the campaign. So everyone, this was Dmail. We will be having like an actual grand finale next week with the Tahoe Wallet team and the Matter Labs team, aka zkSync Era team, just to like have an overview of all the projects that we chatted with and announce a really big Galaxy campaign where you can get some really beautiful NFTs that are based on all the projects that we have had invited, including Dmail. And they'll make up a big ZK planet. Anyways, I won't tease too much, but yeah, we'll talk with you guys next week on Tuesday. I really want to thank Daniel from Dmail for taking his time to chat with us. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing how things evolve at Dmail. So thank you so much.
Thank you ever so much, Amanda. I've had a great time today. I really enjoyed this space, very professionally run, and great questions. Thank you ever so much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.